Greetings everyone, this is Michael W. Ford. I'm going to talk today about working, invoking, understanding Lilith and the different aspects of the demonic feminine, the dark goddess, queen of demons, the rebellious one, who is the essentially one half of the adversary, that in union, in Luciferian traditions, there is a theurgic or a black alchemical magical process that goes on for a long period of time with gradual levels and cycles of what we call Infernal Union, which is essentially Samael and Lilith. Samael being force, strength, matter, rational, pragmatic, rational cunning, intelligence, all of those things in the masculine sense. And then Lilith, beholding the intuitive, the emotional, the instinctual, the inspiring, the muse, the dreaming, the one who, by the fire of passion, brings in union Samael, and in that conjoined union with the Ouroboros or Leviathan as the circle and the phallic aspect, Baphomet, or in Qliphothic teachings, Tabi'ah, or the beast, is the offspring, that unity, the balance of that infernal union. And this is an internal process in the Baphomet, that spirit with the black flame, the fiery illuminating torch between the two horns, is a model or symbol of the Black Adept, the Luciferian. And it's different stages of this type of understanding. The father of understanding is one of the meanings of Baphomet, going back to Baphomet, which I explain in the book Infernal Union, also Bible the Adversary, etc. But the focus here is Lilith. Now, you don't have to be a woman to work with Lilith. This balance is potentially for every individual who approaches Luciferian magic in various ways. And Lilith is a fiery aspect, a passionate one, and one that ushers forth, brings forth, shadows forth, dreams, our subconscious desires, all of those things. And Samael is the aspect that directs and uses that primal fire in the symbolic blackened forge of Cain or Azazel, where we go through the process of liberation, illumination, apotheosis, and cycles. And it's that transformative process. So first I will start with The grimoire Lilith and Lamashtu, Legends of the Ancient Abyss, is a book from late in October of last year, 2024, which is a very concise and methodical, historical, mythological, magical study of the different masks, faces, manifestations of Lilith, beginning with Lamashtu, or Dime, to the triad of a class of vampire demonic spirits of Babylonia, Assyria, etc., of Lilitu, Ardat Lili, and Lilu, the masculine succubi spirit or demon. Now, to then, when you go into the Hebrew Lilith as the Sitra Atras, or the other side's Kabbalistic or Qliphothic, Queen of the Abyss, the bride of Samael, and the different aspects of Lilith, younger Lilith, older, the matron, different symbolism and different manifestations have different types of energy that can be accessed through the Black Adept. And understanding this balance is important, but also understanding the lore and applying it in a symbolic way has meaning. So you have to go beyond the layers of like what you see in horror fiction or the myths and go to the underlining balance those aspects. They're not literal in most sense. A lot of ancient diseases and mortality, things like that were attributed to traits or actions of Lamashtu, Lilith, etc. And I'm not diminishing any of that within or debating that here, but for the modern Luciferian, these aspects, while at first have a monstrous face, horrific, terrible face, what is the energy that is contained within that image, in that symbol, in that name of power? And that's what you call forth and conquer and concentrate within yourself, within your mind, body, spirit, and direct it in union, balance with Samael. Now, one of the key things is the names of Lilith within the Luciferian traditions and previous ones that fueled this tradition are the sometimes 14 names or 11 names or whatever the representation of Lilith's names. Now, each name, when you call forth or summon Lilith as a guide, as a force, a spirit, whether you believe theistically, polytheistically, or agnostically, or whatever it is, whatever works for you is how you should invest your will, desire, belief, because that's what you're building towards. So the vibration, the mantra-like method of calling, reciting each name with a focus of a sigil of Lilith or a talismanic or statue or illustration, whatever that is, this process will call forth that energy. So, for instance, vibration of the names: Lilith, Abitar, Abaquar, Amorpho, Hakash, Odam, Kafido, Alu, Matrota, Abnukta, Shatrina, Kali, Taltui, Katisha. That is one way, and you just do that over and over and over until you reach a point of feeling that energy, that presence rising up, and then you don't give yourself over to it, but you invoke it within and concentrate that energy and balance it. And there's different names. There's also 6 names in different traditions, but each name has a meaning. So utilizing Lilith in that way, depending on how you're invoking Lilith by whichever name, is paramount to ongoing nocturnal journeys, dreams, etc. and applying that. So the Dark Goddess has that powerful, predatory, lustful aspect. And you might do this for a period and then decide, okay, I'm going to focus on something based within nature, like a manifestation of Ishtar, who has relation to Lilith. Ishtar as a goddess of love and war, or a more rational everyday approach that doesn't focus on the dream, that focus on cause and effect, or also nature. So you can cycle through and work with them however you see fit. Strength of will is imperative with the Lilithian workings, that black path of darkness and the fire of Shakti, the fire serpent. You'll find it associations in almost every culture of Lilith. Now, the Kabbalistic or Qliphothic aspect of Lilith, relating to black mirrors and such from the Hebrew Kabbalist, is a vast treasure trove of what can open up towards gnosis. So in that case, very important. Now, the Lilith and Lamashtu, Legends of the Ancient Abyss, my book, has beautifully crafted art by Asneth Mason and Leonardo Avila and Mitchell Nolte. All have created just fantastic depictions that relate to the traits and the symbolism of the different aspects of Lilith. The aspect that ties from Lamashtu, Gielo, Abisu, Obizuth, Lilith, Ardat Lily, etc., are all tied in by the etymology of the names, which is in the book, and it ties together in the chapter that deals with the spells, such as the spells of the Sovereign of Night, and the black alchemical rite of Lilith, Ulamata Kafisane, or the Northern One. These are really key for those interested in Lilith and aspects. And I'll also say that a more demonic and more what I would call edgy or dangerous aspect of Lilith is in my book, Whispers of the Jinn. And this goes into Tabi'ah, or Ilhima bit Ilhima, sorrow, daughter of sorrow. And this is a manifestation of Lilith who has different names in this, who is decidedly more vampiric, much like the ancient Lamashtu. This requires more discipline and focus, but can be a great guide and teacher towards understanding your instincts, drives, and controlling and shaping those accordingly. But also a whole gate of gnosis for understanding nature, observing in many ways. Also, these are available at the Luciferian Apotheca. We also have the Triad sigil available in the Apotheca and tapestry for ritual workings or wall hangings, but also an altar cloth that has the cuneiform, authentic representations of the names of Lilith, the three, and also regular sigil altar cloths, etc. And also we have our own line of jewelry coming soon, brand new designs, and one is specifically crafted and dedicated to Lilith from my design, as well as Hope Marie, my partner and wife, who does a fantastic job. Anyway, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope the Lilith and Lamashtu Grimoire at least offers study and insight into the origins and evolution, but also the etymology and the connections of those specific type of demonic feminine and the balance required. And also for those who will enter into the rites in the Luciferian initiation in this path, I think you'll find well, as long as you apply the 11 points of power and focus on that aspect of liberation, illumination, and apotheosis. Until next time, Banava Araman.